So I'm able to kind of really be at that really delicious kind of 35,000 foot
Mhm.
view of a lot of what they do. And I think to me, the simplest headline from working across all of those organizations is that transformation fails or succeeds not based on the plan, because every business and every organization has a business plan, a strategic plan, a growth plan, et cetera. It doesn't fail because of the plan. It fails or succeeds based on identity and decision making.
Yeah.
So the thing that always jumps out to me is it's not a strategy pattern as much as an identity pattern. And so most organizations say they want transformation, but what they're actually protecting is a story about who they are and what they stand for and who gets to define that story. And I think once you see that, a lot of the resistance, like that you were just talking about too, the either the push towards conformity or the resistance to change, all of that stops feeling irrational because it's not people being difficult, it's people trying to protect meaning. And then the other pattern I see is that I think that governance often behaves like an immune system. And whether it's in nonprofit organizations in terms of boards of directors or it's companies with advisory boards, investor boards, et cetera, but the moment that any change feels like a threat to precedent or status or decision rights, all of the antibodies show up, right? So, like, we need more data, we need a committee, we've done it this way, or we tried that, didn't work, all of that stuff. And I think that honestly, these moves make sense inside the system because they're all protective. And a lot of times, my job is to come in and name that overall dynamic without shaming it and then help the leaders redesign the conditions so that the organization can better tolerate change. So, one of the most freeing reframes is realizing that most human resistance is rational once you look at the incentives they all have, which I
Yes.
think also plays into what you were
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
So, volunteers protect legacy programs because they built them, or they were honored by them, or they got status as a result of leading them. Staff protects bandwidth because they're already at capacity. Like, show me an organization where the staff's like, I'd love somewhere to do, right? That piece is there. And then I think members or customers protect price or value assumption because it feels personal. Especially working with associations, membership organizations, which is my area of focus. It's not just they're not buying a service or a product; they're buying a part of their identity. And so we're able to succeed with transformation when we make it, executable. We've got to sequence the work. We've got to make sure people know who owns things and can make decisions, and then run it at a good cadence, a disciplined cadence. And so, those are kind of some of the things that I see. I'll stop there. I've got like lots more to say about that, but I did love what you said about kind of the push towards conformity. And then just also our own inherent biases of once we see something, whether we attribute that consciously to another organization or product, right? We still project that onto to whatever we're creating.